For as long as I can remember, I have always been a very ambitious and determined person. However, for years my efforts would bring me little to no results, as I never really took my goals that seriously. I had all the ability and work ethic in the world, but I never spent the time to properly visualize where I wanted to be. And it wasn't until I started getting into all this self-development kind of stuff that I was finally able to funnel all of my sporadic energy towards one common goal, which was making the commitment to becoming the best possible human being I could be. And I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I had no career path in front of me or expertise in any specific line of work. To put it simply, I was just floating through life with no direction, no goal, and I let the current and momentum of life take me down the path of least resistance. Everything gradually changed for me when I started consuming more and more self-help content. And I'll never forget this one quote from Helen Keller that really resonated with me. She said, "The only thing worse than being blind is to have sight but no vision." And this blew me away. I was like, damn, what am I doing with my life? How weak am I to be blessed with good health and fortune, but doing absolutely nothing with it? While there are other people in this life who are not so lucky to be blessed with eyes to see or ears to hear, which are all things that we take for granted in everyday life. As time continued to move forward, this idea of having sight but no vision has always been stuck in my head. And what I've learned is that if used properly, visualization can be an amazing tool for accomplishing your goals. Now, there is a book I'm currently reading called Psycho-Cybernetics. I highly recommend it. It's kind of dated though. I think it was published somewhere in 1960, but I feel like its self-help information still holds up today. Actually, I shouldn't say that I'm reading it. I just listened to the audiobook version, and that's another thing I need to work on this year. I'm a terribly slow reader, but that's further from the point. This is not going to be a summary of the book. I haven't finished it yet, but there were some ideas that I found interesting, and I kind of applied them to my life. Regardless of all that, the author Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon who had some interesting ideas about how your self-image, whether positive or negative, can make a huge impact on your life. While working as a plastic surgeon, Maltz quickly discovered how much your self-image dictates your behavior. Maltz noticed that whenever he finished removing some kind of deformity or whatever on a person's face, they somehow still believed they were ugly. And this was because in their mind, they still had a self-image of being ugly. So Maltz believed that we all have the ability to accomplish creative goals, which he calls our automatic creative mechanism. This is something innate that all of us have, but the only way for your automatic creative mechanism to work is that you have to trust it. If you have a mental image where you want to be, plus a desire to get there, and you take the necessary action required to get to the goal, then as long as you believe in your automatic creative mechanism, it will find a way to get you there. On the other hand, if you can't trust your automatic creative mechanism to get you where you want to go, you will end up consciously analyzing all the decisions you make. This is important because if you are constantly analyzing and reanalyzing every decision you make, that means that some part of you does not believe you are worthy of achieving your goal. In other words, your self-image is not aligned with your goals. Maltz says that your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an experience and your imagination. If you think of a bad memory, then you will feel bad. If you imagine a good memory, then you'll somewhat feel good. Regardless if the experience is real or your imagination, you are still affected by it in some way. So how does this apply to the real world? The main problem here is that if you can't visualize and imagine what you want in your mind, then you'll never get it. And old Buddhist wisdom kind of shows up here. It's kind of like what you think you become, what you feel you attract, and what you imagine you create. Now, in order to get things started, what you need to do is put your body in a relaxed state, free from tension and stress. This is important because tension is a signal to your nervous system to reject any incoming information to you. By putting yourself in a relaxed state, you are essentially opening your mind to suggestion. This is typically something that hypnotists do, and this suggestible state will help you with the process of visualization. Now, pick one thing in your life that you are struggling with and imagine a result that is far beyond your expectations. Make this mental experience in your mind as vivid as possible. The more detail, the better, as this will make the experience more believable for your subconscious mind. Again, you want to make sure you have relaxed your mind and you're open to this sort of exercise. Let's use myself as an example. So for the thing that I'm struggling the most with is my career as a filmmaker and YouTuber. I have very little paid work, I don't have many subscribers, and I don't have a proper office space to film in. As you can see right here, I'm just in my bedroom. So what I did was I imagined what my dream life would look like and visualized as many specific details in my mind as possible. So I visualized myself as a full-time filmmaker waking up in my detached house and then going downstairs to the kitchen for coffee and then to the basement where I had a completely finished studio to film these type of videos. I had a Sony camera on a new tripod with proper lighting, a proper microphone, and I had a U-shaped desk where my laptop was connected to a 4K curved monitor, and then I would go on the monitor, check my subscribers, and I would have 100,000 subscribers. Now, the reason I mentioned the specific shape of my desk and the type of camera and monitor I have was to add as much detail to my visualization as possible. And I know that this exercise seems kind of strange, and if you're laughing at me or have any doubts, trust me, I totally get it. But the thing is, it's not like there are any drawbacks with trying visualization. It doesn't cost you anything, there's no monthly fee or negative side effects. And even if you are skeptical, why not give it a try? You basically have nothing to lose and endless potential to gain. So the next step puts things into motion, and that is done by accomplishing whatever mundane tasks you have to do for the day. Now, I'm the most consistent here whenever I make a to-do list in my journal. It could be as simple as brushing your teeth, cutting the grass, going for a jog in the park. Whatever it is, the magnitude of the task does not matter. What matters is you completing those tasks so that your brain triggers a positive, happy response in the moment. That feeling of success can be applied to your goal image that you visualized in the previous step. So for me, that was my goal of becoming a full-time filmmaker with a proper workspace at home. Once you associate the experience of success with the goal image that you're imagining, then you are training your nervous system to believe that you are capable of living those experiences. And what's essentially happening here is that you are raising your standards by default. Once you believe you are capable of living that experience, the work just becomes that much easier. All those boring tasks that you had to complete earlier start to build up the momentum of success as you get more and more things done, regardless of how important they are. And it could be as simple as you cutting the grass, that's done. Paying the bills, done. Walking the dog, done. Studying for that test or exam, done. Or in my case, it's time to go out and practice my videography skills. It can be using a new focal length on my camera, whether that's a wide shot or a tight shot or a tracking shot, using a gimbal or a tripod, or even just using the camera handheld. Whatever it takes, I know exactly in my mind what I have to do and what I need to get done in order to achieve my goals. And all of this becomes easier once you raise your standards. This is something that Tony Robbins talks about a lot, who is one of the greatest motivational speakers around. In order to live your greatest and most fulfilled life, it all starts with raising your standards, whether that's getting a better job or wanting to be around more positive people. Whatever that change is that you want in your life, it all begins when you finally decide to have the courage and raise the standards of your life. So how or why does all of this stuff work? Now, your self-image is created by the experiences you have. If you experience, say, finishing university, for example, you get a degree and then you use that degree in your field of, let's say, computer engineering, for example, you probably have the self-image that you are smart, hardworking, good with computers, and you're a reliable person to call on when something breaks. And the caveat here is that, again, your nervous system cannot tell the difference between your actual experience and the detailed imagined experience in your mind. And this is where the power of visualization comes into play. Now, I know I'm only beginning to scratch the surface on visualization here, as there are many ways you can do this. You can keep a journal, a vision board. I've heard people of writing down goal cards and putting them in their wallet, or even just adding positive affirmations to your daily routine can make a huge impact on your mindset. And what I'm hoping people get out of this video is that if you want to achieve your goals, if you truly want to accomplish great things in this life, then you must be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. Have the courage to try new things that others around you would be too scared to try. Don't be afraid of failure. Embrace the hardships that come your way. Don't think of them as obstacles that are just in your path. Think of them that are challenges that will make you stronger in the long run. Visualize where you want to be in the future and what you want from this life. Be as specific as you can. Paint that picture so clearly in your mind that you know every single minute detail in your dream life. And once you do that, it's only a matter of time before you reach your goals. Thanks for watching.